Good evening, welcome everyone. I'm Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and of course, the time of the week already. The Monday Market Coin Report delivered to you today, September 1st, 2019. Of course, this is the week ending as of today. So we're going to talk about all of the post-1950 modern coins that made headlines this week. And yes, it is modern coin mayhem. This is the dividing week between the A&A show that we had in the middle of August and the upcoming Long Beach sale, which is going to be happening here on Heritage Auctions in the next 8 days. So you would figure the activity would be a little bit light. Okay, the auction fury will be down to a crawl, but geez, that's just not the case. We have a couple coins that sold for quite a bit of money, but you will see here shortly, it's kind of this awkward kind of week in which we were left out of some of the regular mainstays, you know, like Jefferson nickels and things of that nature. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and, like we normally do, kick it off with the one big eBay coin sale. And in this particular case, it's going to be this 1971 Ike dollar, okay, and this is the silver 40% clad dollar, which is included in those silver sets. This one, however, is a PCGS graded deep cameo 68, proof 68, lovely coin. Of course, with these deep cameo coins, that frosty white finish on all of the relief, the devices of the coin, is what really makes this coin grade this kind of level. Okay, they don't all grade like that, but this is a period in time in which some of those cameo frosting appearances are kind of 50-50, so you never know what you're going to get when you're obtaining these proof sets. All right, so this is also the Type 1 reverse, which is evidenced by the blocky reverse letters. This one sold August 31st on eBay for $10,500. Certainly a lot of money coming from a coin that is generally available in a set that's worth around $15 to $20 on average. So finding that extra clean example that doesn't have the proof set haze is what I like to call it, and that's generally stemming from the actual materials and the chemicals leaching off of the plastics and onto the coin. It's pretty difficult, but they are still out there, and we have one prime example here. So a lot of the other action took place on Great Collections. As with any week, Great Collections does these 7-day auctions, and they all end on a Sunday, and we have a number of them that I wanted to discuss in this particular broadcast. The first one, we're going to go in ascending order from the lowest denomination to the highest, and we have a 1957 Lincoln Wheat backed cent. This one is a PCGS graded Mint State 67 red. This is a really nice example. This one sold for $2,251.12. Again, the Philadelphia coins of the 1950s were kind of an anomaly throughout the entire series. Think of them as like just slightly better than coins coming out of the 1920s in terms of quality. The mints just didn't really care as much as maintaining the dies, so that way these coins are struck and upset with tons of luster and lots of detail. Sometimes the strikes are very weak on these. This one looks pretty good. But again, the 1950s Philadelphia minted coins are a tough bunch, which is evidenced with this next coin that we see here, and it's a 1954. Now, this is the toughest Philadelphia minted 1950s wheat cent out of the whole crop. It just slightly edges 1951 and 1952. This one is an NGC graded Mint State 67 red, and this one sold for $2,455.05. There was actually another one just like this at a grade point lower. However, this next coin that you see here is a PCGS graded example, and this one's a Mint State 66 red. Here's the funny part. With a 66 level graded coin, any other date within the 1950s, and this would be like a $100 to $200 coin max. 1954 is the exception, all right, and not the rule. Because of how tough and difficult it is to find a coin with decent appearance, okay, as far as its outward appearance and its overall presentation, this one sold for $1,415.25. Keep in mind, this coin, compared to the NGC 67 that you saw before it, doesn't look nearly as lustrous. You see a few more marks on there, and that is the determining factor between a 66 and a 67. Even though we're cross-grading between NGC and PCGS, you could definitely see the difference. If you wanted to rewind back to the 67 just so you could see the ultimate difference, you'll know what I mean. All right, so again, nothing to talk about worthwhile with the nickels and dimes. We do have a couple quarters that's in the mix here, and this first one that we have is a 1960D. This is a Denver minted Washington quarter that graded PCGS Mint State 67, and this is one that I like to call kind of like a light album crusty toner. Okay, so you have some of the beginning progressions of the toning spectrum with the yellows. You know, you might have a little bit of gold and some of that russet brown that you hear so much about in the toning part of collecting. This particular example sold for $1,293.75. Proof positive that even coins that look like this still worth some money. Not an entirely difficult date to find at this grade level. You know, there are even more difficult dates like the 63D and the 62D, which at a 67 would command probably 4 to 5 times the amount of money. So a really nice, pleasing kind of like registry set participant type example, one in which will look good for years to come. So the next Washington quarter that we have highlighted here for you today is a 1956, a little bit earlier dated coin, but this is a Philadelphia minted example, one in which was graded NGC Mint State 68, so it's a nice lofty high grade. Not particularly tough, okay, compared to some of the other dates within the 1950s, but this one right here has pretty decent toning, which gives it more of the originality and less of the, I guess, eye appeal. It's more attractive as a crusty, you know, kind of like light toned coin. This one right here sold for $1,996.88. Not too shabby, not too shabby. But as you can see, we have a few coins that sold in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. Nothing quite yet to knock your socks off, but that's going to all change here momentarily when we get into, that's right, the half dollars. And not just any half dollars. The Franklin half dollars were well represented this past week on Great Collections. So we're going to start it out with the lowest on the totem pole, but not to be outdone. The 1963 Franklin half dollar that you see on screen is a PCGS Mint State 65 with full bell lines. Now, the coin on its face is nothing to write home to mom about. I mean, you see some of the nicks and some of the regular kind of like bag marks. You know, this coin was probably in a bag with other brilliant uncirculated 1963 Franklins. However, this particular example showed just enough detail on the reverse Liberty Bell to give it the full bell lines designation, which, if you're an avid collector of Franklin half dollars, everybody knows that the 1963 date is one of the toughest to find with the full strike on the reverse. And because of that, this coin sold for $1,575 over the weekend. Okay, so we have another example of a Mint State 65 Franklin half dollar that you see here. This one again by PCGS, and of course it is a full bell lines example. Another tough one. This one sold for $1,040.62. There is a dedicated group of collectors that look for really nice, you know, tougher strike designation Franklin half dollar dates. Okay, 62, 63, even 61 would certainly fall under that category of tough strikes. Finding one that's absolutely hammered is pretty tough. Okay, you Typically, if you were to go through one or so of these coins, if you have them, you'll notice that these full bell lines don't really show up too well on these coins. So we have a number of proof coins, okay, that are all absolutely amazing that I wanted to talk about, and they're all Franklin half dollars. The first one is a 1952 Franklin half dollar. Again, these proof half dollars. The proof set in general is a low mintage set with only a few thousand produced during this year. So this one right here is a NGC graded proof 69 star. It's interesting. I mean, it looks like it has just enough kind of frosting on there that maybe it might be a cameo, but I think it has the overall just nice eye appeal. It's an extremely clean coin, no toning whatsoever. The kind of like the light frosting disqualifies it from being a cameo, but this one right here just has like a nice strike. It just has all of the attributes of a coin that looks like it was just minted yesterday. Now this one, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $12,937.50 by the time it was all said and done. But even more crazier, there was one other 1952 Franklin half dollar that you see here, also in the same auction through Great Collections. This one, however, is an NGC Proof 68 cameo. So this one has strong enough frosty on the devices of the coin that it achieved that cameo designation by NGC. And because of that, this one sold for $10,406.25. There's nothing tougher than trying to find a cameo or deep cameo coin within the early 50s proof sets. It's extremely difficult, but the coins themselves, the sets, are so expensive that not a lot of people actually take the time to try and search out older proof sets. So that's why these coins are so expensive. We do have another proof coin here. This one is actually a date earlier, 1951. This Franklin half dollar is a PCGS Proof 66. All right, so it's a couple grade points lower than the previous two coins. And this one, however, is a deep cameo specimen. Pretty nice coin that you see here. This one sold for $9,562.50. Again, another coin that would go into a dedicated registry set. You know, that's exactly where this coin belongs. These coins will probably hold their value for a long time, being that it's an extremely low mintage availability of this type of set, which makes surviving specimens much tougher to find. And with any luck, you'll be able to find one, but it's not going to be a cameo. That's how difficult these are. And then finally, the last coin from the Great Collections bunch. You might have seen this one before in last week's episode. It's another 1990 American Silver Eagle. It's the same date as the other Silver Eagle that I highlighted in last week's Monday Market Coin Report. However, this was part of a batched submission group. Okay, as you can tell, if you looked at the last example that sold last week, all right, the grading submission numbers are only one off. Okay, there are two separate coins. So I have a feeling that whoever submitted these submitted a number of them that looked perfect enough, and sure enough, this one at a PCGS Mint State 70 is perfect. That's the highest grade possible in coin grading. And this one sold pretty close to that other example from last week at $4,331.25. Now finally, the last coin that I wanted to talk about. Okay, this is significant for September 1st, the beginning of the fall, what is bound to be the busy coin season of the year. All right, it's no mistake that this coin made it on the list. Okay, some of you have probably heard about this coin, but this particular 1964 Kennedy half dollar is, guess what? This is the most expensive, highest realized sale of a modern US coin. Modern being post 1950. Okay, there's just one little caveat to this. This is the most expensive modern coin that is not in error or not a variety. Okay, so some of you will probably say, well, the 1968 Roosevelt dime with the missing mint mark should be the most expensive modern rarity. No, it's this one right here. The 1968 No S Roosevelt dime was made in error. Okay, the mint mark was simply not added or has been badly abraded to where it just doesn't exist on the coin anywhere. So this one right here, you do have to know that this is an exclusive special mint set piece. Okay, a number of these were included as a total special mint set all the way back in the 90s. They were first sold by Stack's Bowers, which ironically, this example right here was sold through Stack's Bowers during the A&A auction show a few weeks back. However, this particular example right here, only a few known sets, okay, were ever known. All right, they were consigned by Mr. Lester Merkin. Okay, he's the one that had obtained the coins through a sale way back in the day when, in the mid 60s, the mint director at the time had a number of those sets, and I believe after her passing, that estate went to auction, in which Mr. Lester Merkin purchased up most of these 1964 special mint sets. Now, these look very similar to a regular business strike 1964. However, these will have the appearance of the 1965 and 1966 and 1967 special mint sets. They kind of have a mirrored finish to it upon closer examination. So they're going to look kind of similar to the 1964 business strikes, but not entirely. And these coins are going to be extremely well struck, all right, as they should. These were kind of, in a way, an experimental strike to test out those soon-to-be special mint sets of 65 to 67. So they used it in 64 on some of those 90% planchets. So this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, for being the record holder of the modern day coin, it's $156,000 on Stack's Bowers. And that is your record-setting coin thus far. It's only going to be a matter of time before another coin usurps it. I feel like that this is not the ceiling, but this is just another opportunity for another big market player coin. You know, whether it's another 69S double die Auvers that's going to be a super mega grade like a Mint State 68 or something that'll come out into the market one day. It is bound to exist, or some other rarity that we just don't know about. But we'll see. As of right now, this 1964 Kennedy half dollar is the highest sale of any post-1950 modern coin. And that's it, guys. That is your Monday Market Coin Report for the week ending September 1st. Happy September. Thank you guys for joining me on this special episode in which we talked about a truly monumental coin in that 1964 Kennedy. Pretty nice. As always, like, share, subscribe if this is your first time here. Welcome. And feel free to hit the bell for instant notifications. You want to make sure that you set up in your settings so that way you have everything all set to go, so that way you do receive those notifications. But in any event, I want to thank you guys for joining in. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your Monday, and keep collecting. I'll talk to you guys soon.